Check, check, check. Hello.
Yo.
What up?
What up?
I don't think there's anybody in the channel yet, but what's up, guys?
Someone's still driving
we can get
home.
started, but I said we can get started. I'm home. I'm just like the same thing as last week. I'm about to pull into my parking thing.
Okay.
So,
well,
but we can get started.
I'm tinkering with some stuff for 1 second, and I'll be ready in just a second.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
What do you guys think of the fact that we're broadcasting live right now?
Are we doing that?
How many listeners think we're gonna
I didn't read what you were saying because I'm driving, so I couldn't.
Right now, one person's listening.
Read anything.
One person's in.
Oh shit!
Hi, one person listening to my car bleed.
For the most part, that one person's listening. For the most part, I'm going to ignore the chat field. But from time to time, if somebody starts talking for a second, I'll be able to go and look at it and see. Maybe we'll respond to you. If in the offset chance that somebody starts talking for a second,
that someone else talks other than Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh, I also am dog sitting my boss's dog, so that's who's whimpering in the back.
I hear my voice echoing. I think that was Justin's bad last time, right?
Oh, I'm gonna mute.
All right, let me try again. Test. Yeah, it's not happening. So it is you, Christina Vanderslice.
Wait, how about now?
Talk. I'm talking. Nope, I don't hear it.
Are you good?
Yep.
Nope. Cool.
Yeah, as soon as I get inside, I'll unmute. But just know I'm gonna stay muted until I get inside.
How long
I'll be
until
there
you be
in
inside?
Like 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Okay. I'll get sunk up with him here.
Maybe not even. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I get out of my car, it'll stop echoing. It's just because my car connects as well, so that's why. So yeah, get sunk up.
Sunk up.
I'm tweeting right now that we're doing this live.
Sunk up. Get sunk up.
You think you're funny, huh, Justin?
Sunk up.
What is it supposed to be synced? Is it supposed to be synced?
Sunk up.
Synced?
Sunk up.
What is?
I don't know. It's like when someone that's very morbid. I won't use that example.
Sunk up.
There's 3 people now in it.
Oh, you tweeted and we got that fast a response.
Well, I had already tweeted out earlier, and Justin was like, "Thanks for the heads up."
No, what did I actually say?
Oh shit! Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, that's different than what you said.
Oh, and they're now going to realize that Justin doesn't know how to count what episode we're on, and that you always have to help him.
Shit, that does suck, actually.
We are on 108. Yeah,
actually on 108.
See, these people listening, they get to see how the sausage is made. So this will be fun for people, I think. Now we lost one of our 3 people.
They're like, we're out.
We're down to
This
2
sucks.
people. Yeah, don't worry, guys. We'll start recording here soon. And yeah, like I said, feel free to chat along, and maybe we'll discuss what you're saying. I try to keep it put away for the most part, so I don't get distracted by the chat field. But yeah, I will be skimming it from time to time. All right, I think we should sync it up now, because I think Christina should be ready here in a second, and I can test my levels then too. Check. Yeah, sounds fine. Looks good. All right. Justin. 1.
Dylan. 2.
Okay. Sounds like Christina was grabbing her keys or something. I saw Valerian today, Justin.
What'd you think?
Misery in a movie.
Wait, hello?
Oh, that sucks.
Hello?
Why do we have to wait for you to say hello?
Wait, I can't tell. I updated Skype. This is the worst live content ever. I updated Skype, so now I can't tell like what's mute and what's not. So you can hear me, right?
Yeah, but why do you say wait before you say everything?
What?
Nothing.
I don't say wait.
No. Yeah, you
Oh, okay.
you should hear yourself because you say wait like every time.
What?
Never mind. Beep.
Oh,
Are we ready?
I don't get what's going on. Okay, let's get started. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Do you know how many episodes we've been at, Justin, right now?
108. Right?
Yes, that's correct. All right. Welcome to the Legacy of 24. I'm Dylan Chuck, and I've seen every episode of 24.
And I'm Just Marina. I've seen 108 episodes of 24.
And I'm Christina Benassice. I've also seen 108 episodes of 24.
Could you say that again? I'm sorry, it broke out for a second.
And I'm Christina Benassice. I've also seen 108 episodes of 24.
In this podcast, we're discussing episodes 11 and 12 of the 5th season of Fox's original show, 24.
Oh, in this episode, we're going to be discussing all events up to these 2 episodes without spoiling any events from any future episodes.
All episodes of 24 available streamed on Amazon Prime. We encourage you to watch along. You can't faze me.
And big shout out to our Patreon supporters. If you want to be a supporter of the show, you can go to patreon.com/watch and talk. And big shout out to our premium supporters, Shakita, June, Endless Mike, and Kaka. And obviously a weekly shout out to Diane, Ashley, and Pastaroni. So thank you guys very much. Guys, have you ever struggled with social media presences? Either of you?
Sometimes.
What about you, Christina? Have you ever had issues getting presents with social medias?
The social media's presence is definitely not easy.
Well, your social media presence isn't very good because you never use Twitter that a bunch of listeners follow you on. For some reason, you get the most follows of all of us. I don't know why that is. But anyway.
They're pity follows.
It's the mystery. It's the mystery of it all.
They're pity follows.
I have a solution for you. You can go to coincrack.com. watchandtalk.com/coincrack is what I meant. And you can boost your social media presence. And big shout out to Ninth League. Ninth League Desires, where you listen to your business needs and create websites, applications, email campaigns. This week, we're doing our first live stream. We're actually live streaming this on YouTube. So for the people listening along, shout out to you guys. If you are interested in listening to it, you can go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Watch and Talk. And we usually record on Thursdays. But it'll give you a notification when we go live, or any of the podcasts from the Watch and Talk network go live. So we usually will tweet out also a heads up to let you people know when we're going to be recording. But anyway, and then maybe you can be a part of the chat and be part of the conversation in there too. So if you hear shouting out something somebody said, that's why. All right, guys.
Yes.
Some big episodes
Dylan.
right here. Did we not have some big episodes?
We had some big episodes.
Neither of you guys have contacted me or let me know after you watched episode 12. But Christina, how does that?
Is that what we're supposed to do? Is that homework?
No.
I text him every once in a while.
Sometimes Justin texted me last week and said, "Aaron, motherfucking Pierce."
Justin just texts you randomly about the episode.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
That's cute.
But Christina, what happened at the end of this episode?
What episode are we talking about?
Episode 12.
I missed it.
The end of the episode that we just watched.
Ask Justin. I gotta mute really quick. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry. I'm sorry. The first one shouldn't be live. Sorry, folks. Ask Justin.
I actually need to be reminded.
I'm on mute.
I watched it like
Sorry,
3 days ago.
Quick emergency.
Or 4 days ago.
You guys are absolutely insane. This is... a major character death. That's where we left with a major character death.
Oh, Edgar dying in that silent clock.
How is that a struggle to get out of you guys? I thought you guys would be chomping at the bits to talk about it, but yeah. Should we give Christina a second to talk? I'll just cut this out. I'm just gonna put a timestamp.
Sorry, it's just really quick. It'll take me like literally 2 more minutes. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Thank you. Sorry.
I should timestamp. The listeners listeners on YouTube are gonna get to see how the sausage is made.
They're gonna think I'm extremely unprofessional. That's the problem. Well, dang it, Dylan.
Guys, she's always
You're walking
like
a dog in the middle of a podcast.
Yeah,
I mean,
guys, I always just edit out her unprofessionalism. So you normally think this is that we're smooth when we record. But oh no! Last week, let me tell you guys how many edits timestamps I did for editing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different times I had to go edit out stuff like this from last week. We're already up to 2 so far right now, so let's see if we can break that record. Anyway, how you doing, Justin?
I'm hanging in there.
Do you see
we can get started. I'm just carrying
No, we're waiting for you. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate the fans. Thank you.
And shout out to you, John. John just said, I hope to become a Patreon supporter soon. I hope you do too, John. I appreciate that. Do you see Dunkirk, Justin?
I'm going to go tonight, I think.
I already saw it twice.
So you're saying I should see it?
Mm-hmm. Don't be late, like I did my first viewing.
I won't be late. I'm never late to movies except for when...
If you go see a 70mm, just know it only has like 6 minutes of trailers.
I'm not going to see it 70mm.
Why don't you go see it 70? Yeah, why not?
Well, then I won't see it tonight.
Why?
Or should I see it twice?
I don't know. I just think you should see an IMAX or a 70mm.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, we can get started. I'm just gonna walk up the stairs. Go ahead, jump back in. Let's jump back in. Let's get into this.
Christina, walk up the stairs and get comfortable because I'm not doing this again. So let's just get yourself
attitude,
comfortable.
Huh? See, now the fans will see how much attitude you have. That's what you're showing them. The tude. That's what's really happening. So we don't have to have
the crows cawing in the background.
I'm carrying in his dog bed, and it's like obnoxiously huge. It's like a dog bed for 6 dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me 30 seconds. Oh, hello, Brutus. It's all good.
Et tu, Brute?
What?
It's just a Julius Caesar reference. My goodness.
Oh. Okay, crows are gone. Door is shut. Bags are down. Let's party.
Okay, last thing that we said before before the recording starts again is Justin said, "Oh yeah, Edgar died and we got the silent clock."
Do you want me to keep going, or do I want her to keep going?
No, I was waiting for
All
Christina.
right, ready to pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're waiting for what you have to say.
Oh, well, this is obviously a very crazy ending. A lot going down. So, yeah. I mean, what Justin said.
Were you guys,
how many
sad? Are you guys surprised? Was this something
I'm surprised because I didn't think Edgar was going to die.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did.
He's like a main character, but he's like kind of a sub-main character. So he's expendable, but he also didn't seem high priority to kill off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where there was a little bit of surprise. But I'm not necessarily sad. I like him as a character, and I will miss him. But I'm not necessarily like really saddened by it.
He was just the most harmless character I think that's been on the show. And we don't typically see a lot of computer analysts get killed on the show. Right? Jamie Farrell was, I think, the last computer analyst that got killed on the show.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like, you know he is expendable, but you just didn't expect them to actually kill him.
Yeah, especially because he's just so harmless. And he died also checking on Carrie, who got stabbed in the back of the head. I don't know.
Right.
It just was...
Yeah.
A lot of people
and
were
it's like goes to show... Well, and also just goes to show like the kind of person he was, that's how he went out, is going to check on somebody else. And like he didn't want to leave her. They're like, Edgar, out of the building right now, and he's still trying to like look for her.
Yeah, if he had just not done that, he would have survived. But also, famously, the actor spoke out all pissed when his character got killed off.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like he was upset that he got killed.
How many silent clocks are there total in the series? Didn't you say there was like a limited number?
Yeah, 1 per season.
Oh, there's only 1 per season.
Yep.
And that was the one for season 5.
Yep. Yeah, for instance, when Palmer got killed and when Michelle got killed, those were in the middle of the episodes. So they only typically give a silent clock in the middle of one, but I think there was a silent clock in the middle of an episode in the later season, but I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. I guess we'll rediscover that together. Anyway, let's get into these episodes because it's time to get into these episodes. I just thought you guys would have more to say about Edgar's death. I think I'm surprised that you guys weren't more shocked by it or saddened by it.
I mean, like I said, I'm not saddened for whatever reason. I don't know why. I'm not necessarily saddened by it. I think, again, he's a sub character, like of the main character. So although I didn't want to see him die, I'm not like heartbroken. Like I would be heartbroken if, like, honestly, Michelle dying was more upsetting for me.
Oh yeah, well, 100%.
Yeah.
Hers is more upsetting as far as losing the character, but a sadder death, I feel like, was Edgar's, just because.
Really? I mean, think about it. Michelle was like
because you
leaving
see him stumbling
to go help.
up. Yeah, but you see him stumbling up, and the gas is all over the place, and then you kind of forget that Edgar's lost, right? Were you thinking about Edgar before when they sealed the doors?
Oh yeah, I knew he was still out there.
Yeah, and I feel like they made a point to be like, I'm gonna go check on Carrie, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah.
And then when he's walking by, you see the thing open up like right behind him, and then he's also walking up, and then the last word he says is Chloe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just surprised.
I did appreciate how you like saw Chloe feel something for once.
Yeah.
So that was redeeming, I guess.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I gave my opinion. Justin, what do you think? Were you like sad or?
No, I wasn't sad.
I mean, it's not like I'm like, oh yes, Edgar's dead. It's just like.
I don't know if the actor did such a great job of dying in that scene either. I was a little taken out of it at that moment where he was kind of like falling over.
How should somebody die when inhaling nerve gas?
I don't know, but I'm not sure if the actor delivered the performance that was believable for me. But
alrighty, all right. So episode 511 aired on March 5th, 2006. It's from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. We get a couple returning characters in these 2 episodes. First one, Tony. Tony's awake.
Yeah,
yeah, oh my gosh, I have so much to say about this.
Yeah.
First of all, I knew he was gonna be Two-Face, like style, like his thing, the whole wear the bandage cover. But then I took the bandage off. I was like, really, that's the best we could do?
Right. Also, the fact is that you don't take the bandage off 10 hours after your injury. Like, who would do that?
Right.
Why would anybody do that? But yeah.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we're gonna get there in a second. But when he like tries to bust out. He like takes off his gown and he's fully clothed. What?
Oh, I guess they hadn't swapped
usually
him out there. Yeah, they would. Cut
usually if you're wearing
off.
A gown, yes, exactly. You're not gonna be fully clothed, ready for action.
Yeah. So anyway, he's been asking about Michelle, and the doctor said he's had too much trauma, so they can't tell him. So Bill goes to see him and lies about Michelle, and tells about his assassination attempt, and it was basically tells him the whole truth about all of that, and it was to blame Jack. And he goes, "Did they get Jack?" And he's like, no. And he's like, I want to talk to him then. Which I appreciate to see him being like, no, I hope Jack's not dead. And, care about Jack's well-being. So I appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is the lying to him. That's bullshit.
Right.
Right? Do we agree on
that? Agreed. For sure. It's like a waste of time and energy. Like, we're just going to now have to tell him the truth. And obviously you saw how it went down.
Yeah. So... Martha walking away from the motorcade attack. She's in shock that he didn't warn him, and she tells Aaron Pierce, who doesn't believe it, almost doesn't believe it. That's kind of stupid. I mean, that's shocking. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you have any predictions how that's going to go, or like, what do you think they're doing there? I don't really remember how this goes, to be honest.
Laying the foundation for something. What are they laying the foundation for?
I don't know.
Well, I think he's the president in the next season because the way again, it's because you're alluding to it, so maybe I'm jumping ahead. I don't know any facts. So because I think he's a president next season, I feel like it's not going to go much of anywhere.
I mean...
If I didn't think he was the president, I would think they're going to, like, call him out about it, but I don't know.
I just don't.
Well, I mean, they're not going to change the president again. They would just won't change the president again before the next season, I don't think, unless the real president comes back, which I guess is possible, right?
Oh no, it's already long.
Already
It's
done?
a year and a half after he's.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll never hear from President Keeler again, to be honest. I could be lying to you guys, but I'm not. I just don't get why she would tell Pierce like that, but I guess she needed to tell somebody, and she trusts him.
Yeah.
But he's like, no way, that's impossible. And she's like, he even gave the Suvorovs the motorcade up, and he's like, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, Bierko says he's using canister as a diversion, and Ostrov is buying the CTU card from Lynn's sister. Did you guys expect that to be... Oh, I guess... Did we know that was going to happen before this?
Well, he said that like this is why he stole it or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Or maybe this was this episode where she's like, oh, I thought you were just gonna take his credit cards. He's like, this is my credit card, something stupid like that. But my thing is how did he like find someone? Maybe I missed it, but like, how did he find someone to buy that so soon? Like, what?
I think he just looked up, people
who wants a CTA card.
Yeah,
a CTA card.
I figured they like put him up to it a little bit. No,
that's exactly what they did. They went to him and said, if you go and jump him, and get his key card from you, we'll give you $20,000.
Yeah,
and he's like, hell yes, which ends up not being a great thing for him, really. But here's what I don't get: how did they depend on Lynn not reporting it? Like, that's something I don't get. Why he?
Yeah, and why didn't I know?
Because his sister, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but why wouldn't he have reported it? Like, I'm not really sure why he didn't tell them, other than was he just embarrassed?
Yeah. I don't.
It's such a weird.
I don't want to spoil something, but he does. He is asked later, and he says he was embarrassed.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's true. I guess I could see that, but.
And you
sort of, kind of.
They were big on the whole him being like, him having this professionalism and being respected by everybody, and so they kind of ran with that a little bit for the most part. So who knows? But apparently that's what happened as far as that goes. Anyway, Jack calls the CTU, and he was so detached from all the drama there that they're like, "Oh, Lynn's been relieved and Bill's back," and he's like, "Okay, fine." Like, he doesn't realize how insane it got.
Yeah.
Just 15 minutes ago, but
he just like care. Well, I mean, he's professional. There's stuff to do.
Also, he just almost got killed by Henderson, and he's just working on getting Henderson. What do you think of Henderson? Peter Weller as a villain so far.
Yeah, that's a pretty
I like him.
I
like him as a villain.
He's a great freaking
I'm digging it.
Also, I love when anytime Jack's trying to interrogate him, he just repeats back the technique that Jack is using.
Yeah, basically, I mean, he is the master.
Right. He is Jack's first complete equal, right? Complete equal. If not, outsmarted him. But you know what I like is they showed him get the drop on Jack when he went to his office and he tasered Jack. But then Jack gets the drop on him when he comes back to his house. In the exact same way.
Yeah, he's like, fool me once, you know?
How's the saying go, Christina?
Yeah, tell us the whole saying, Christina.
Fool me once, shame on me. No, shame on you.
You just did the George Bush. You just did the George Bush. If you fool me, you can't fool me again. Anyway.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Help me out, guys. Help me out.
Sure.
You guys don't even know.
No, it's fool me once, shame on me. No, fool me once, shame on you. Yeah. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
See, it's confusing when you have to say the full thing.
I know,
but you guys have just rolled with me. You would have just rolled with me when I said
you
fool me once, and you guys would be like, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about." Have to make me say it. Yeah, your fault.
So Jack says that Henderson tried to kill him, and he's like, "Chloe, can you hack into Henderson's computer at home?" And she's like, "I already did," which I appreciated that while he's on the speakerphone. The second he says that, she's already hacking into his computer. So within like seconds, he already did that. So, and this is the season where Chloe is fully superhero hacker at this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Is that sarcasm?
Yes.
How
such a jerk.
Superhero? She's a superhero?
I said superhero hacker.
Superhero hacker.
Are you only hearing the words that you want to hear, or
yes?
That's called cognitive dissonance, my friend.
Yes, I obviously have that.
You're just trying to fulfill the narrative that you want.
Yes.
But anyway, she shows no fear at all for the most part in this season. She's completely capable. She's doing things before Jack asked her to do them. And everybody goes to her. Everybody in CTU goes to her to get things done. And she does it, ain't no thing. Dust off her shoulder. Anyway, so he's apparently using a remote link to access his home computer. And then Henderson calls somebody and dumps his safety deposit box. So I'm assuming that's what the cash in the briefcase is that we see later in the episode. So, when the doctor leaves, Tony goes and finds the computer and finds out she's dead. And he even sees her dead body that they already took pictures of and uploaded and stored in their mainframe.
That was rough.
And also dramatic that you type her name and it's like searching, deceased! Yeah, in big letters.
I knew it was going to say that, though, but it was very dramatic.
And then he collapses. Martha arrives back on the compound, will not speak to Logan. And Pierce is looking at Logan like, what, bro? Like, are you for real? And then Suvorov's like, hey, like, what the hell? Like, are you serious? Like, what's going on? And Logan tells him about the gas canisters, and he's just a freaking weasel. And then Suvorov's like, I must tell you, something is up with your wife. He's like, oh, she's probably shell shocked. She goes, no, she was up to weird things before. And he's like, oh, she's mentally unstable.
That was so messed up.
Yeah. I guess he don't GAF.
You gotta do, and you gotta do what you gotta do in that situation.
So Lynn asks Bill if he can make a phone call so he can call his sister. And he calls her, asks for the card, and her boyfriend says they're getting $20,000 for it. CTU found blueprints for the next attack, and it's the Tyler Memorial Hospital. And they make a call to evacuate it, and Curtis Head's there. Do you guys find the hospital storyline in this at all compelling, really? Especially in hindsight.
It's okay. It's not awful, I guess.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, and that's like a sad place for them to do something like that. Right. You know, so it makes you feel, it's a little gut-wrenching. Like, that's kind of it's already a sad situation. They're not in the hospital for fun.
And I guess
so why would they try to make it worse?
And, like, the other thing is, like, you kind of see the hospital thing happen a lot, I guess. So it's, like, not... It didn't really stick with me, I guess, because like you see this kind of situation happens a lot, like hostage situations or situations that go down in hospitals. So like I'm thinking of like
in real life, or
no, I'm thinking of, like in movies and TV. Like I'm thinking of like The Dark Knight.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, I mean, I have a question. Where does the rabbit go when he gets sick?
Please tell us, Dylan.
The hospital.
Oh, Lord. This is live, Dylan. You must have forgotten.
Oh, my mistake. So Jack gets to Henderson's and goes in the back, and his wife Miriam is there. And she was portrayed by Jo Beth Williams, who was the mom from Poltergeist. So, fun fact there. The movie Poltergeist. Justin's probably never heard of it.
Nope.
It came out before he was born, and I
haven't heard of it. I've just never seen it.
It actually did come out before you were born.
I don't know if I've heard of this. We got one that.
You don't know if you've heard of the movie Poltergeist? Uh-oh, you're cutting out.
Polter what? I'm cutting out, or you're cutting out?
Does it matter? It's not coming up in the recording. So I'll just say you cut out, regardless of whose fault it is.
Okay. Anyways, what are you saying? What's the movie title again?
The movie Poltergeist.
I have no clue. No, never heard of it.
Poltergeist.
No, never heard of it.
Okay, well.
I'll have to look it up later.
It's a very famous horror movie.
It's a horror movie. That's why I've never heard of it. I stay far away from horror.
But it's not even like it's not that kind of horror movie. It was like it's as famous as like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's not like a horror movie like Freddy Krueger. It has Poltergeist means a ghost that takes over objects. So it's
interesting.
Anyway, it's a classic movie, but who cares? All right, So he goes in and says, "Hello, Miriam," and she's like, "Jack, we thought you were dead." And he's like, "Where's Christopher?" And she's like, "What? You're scaring me." And he comes out with a gun. And you can tell they have a major history of being close, and she's even close with Kim. They're close family-wise too. And he tells her the truth about Henderson, and she's like, "No, there's some kind of mistake." And he's like, "An hour ago he tried to kill me." I also think it's weird that he said an hour ago he tried to kill me because it's been less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I know I don't
Time
want to be
flies when you're having
tacky,
fun.
but
Yeah, I think he's just losing. You know,
that's
it's
not
a lot
it.
going
They
on.
always refer to something that happened in the last episode as an hour ago. When,
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But if in real life you would be like, just tried to kill me, just as
Yeah.
like I just drove
Just
here.
See, but you might say just a minute ago, and it's
Yeah.
like 30 minutes ago. So I could see where you're just kind of like, you know, frantic. You know.
Yeah.
Basically, he just tried to kill me.
But I also
Some time
think
ago.
he's trying to show her that it was that recently. I would think he would be rounding down anyway. But anyway, who cares? So she looks at the computer, revealing its location. So at gunpoint, he brings her into the back room, and she's like, "You don't need the gun, Jack. You're not going to shoot me." And he puts the gun away. And then he starts having Chloe hack it. Curtis gives instructions to the hotel security for evacuation, and it's impossible because there's tons of patients that can't be moved quickly because they need to get them out in 15 minutes. And Pierce comes to Martha when she calls for him, and she thanks him and grabs his hand. Christina, I want to hear what you think about this.
Yeah, that got a little scandalous, especially
Did it?
when your boy walked in. Yes.
What do you mean, did it?
It was meant to kind of be portrayed as something. Because, okay, I think she honestly means it in, like, an affectionate way, but basically affectionate for, like, now we have this thing that's going to be something that me and you only know kind of a situation. So I feel like they're now a little bonded because of that. So I think she meant it in all of those feelings. I don't know that she really means much more than that, but, well, never know. But when
Mike comes and sees it, he yells at
it
Aaron
was
about
so
it.
exactly.
So that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying.
Like,
what do you mean did it, Justin? Because
Justin, yeah,
Aaron
even
got
Aaron
yelled at.
says like,
Yeah, I know. I just
Aaron's
like
it wasn't nothing, or there's nothing that happened. He's like, well, whatever it wasn't,
Don't
make
let
sure
it
it's
happen.
not or something.
yeah.
Don't let
I
it
guess
happen
I've
again.
never been in that situation, so like I don't.
You've
know.
never held
Oh,
hands with
sure.
somebody. You've never held hands with somebody before.
No, I've never held hands with a female woman before.
with a female woman.
We'll just leave that where it's at.
All right, we'll just leave
stay
it
away from
right
that.
there.
Yeah.
In the gutter
Leave
where
it
it
there.
belongs. All right, so Miriam gives Jack a bunch of shit about giving false accusations. Same thing that Henderson was doing the last episodes. And she says, just so you know, he never hated you, even when you got him fired. Neither of them did, and we always checked in on Kim and all that kind of stuff. Security at the hospital spots the imposter and heads down to him, and we see him take the canister out. I must say, man, I would really love one of these prop canisters, like the canisters they use in this. It's so iconic for the show by now. By like I don't know. By at this point, so any listeners out there want to go bid on one of these and send it in, I'll give you a shout out on the podcast. I actually have
That's
no
all
idea.
they get, huh?
I have no idea what I'd do with it, but I think if I had one piece of 24 memorabilia, I think it would be one of those canisters. They had a bunch of them, so I'm sure they have, but I'm sure not all of them are functional. I think that the ones that actually have a chamber that pops up and the smoke comes out, I'm sure there was only one of those.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, a bunch of other dummy ones that don't open up. But it looks cool when they open up and you see the tss come out of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my Christmas list. So maybe, Christina, if you want to buy me a good Christmas gift, you'll get me that. So Curtis finds the dude and kills him. Curtis kill count +1. But the timer had already started. So they find the canister and it's armed, and he knows because it's beeping and blinking.
Right, because that's the only way we know things in this show.
Exactly. That's the only reason you know there's impending doom. But yeah. All right. So John, listening in the chat, says, Christina, you didn't see how Martha stroked Aaron's hand when he woke up in the limo. I didn't notice
that's
that.
right.
I
I
didn't
know.
notice
It's right. And they did have a deep stare. Also, okay. So now, thank you, listener, because
Yeah,
now-
but it was
now
a
you got me
deep
thinking
stare in the
into it.
limo because she was staring at him because she was about to die.
Yeah, that
But
is a little
now,
more
look at-
understandable.
Wait. I think I'm now he's her hero basically. So
Yeah.
now she's gonna be loving. Like she might start to fall for him because he saved her, and her own damn husband wouldn't save her. Oh my gosh, this is so much more than I thought. Oh, this is gonna get good.
Yeah,
Thank you. Was it John?
Yes, John.
Thank you, John. Yeah, no, that's a
Jar
good
of
point, 'cause,
Geek.
like her
It's
husband.
Jar of Geek. We'll call you Jar if you want, John. Just tell us in the chat field what you want
Jar
me to call
John,
you from
JJ.
now
I'm gonna call him JJ. Jar John. But like her husband didn't save her, and he did. That's huge. Uh-oh.
on. Uh-oh. Anyway, so Christopher arrives at home while Jack's talking to Chloe, and then he tells Miriam she has to pack a bag. You'd think he would have called her on the phone and said this, right? Instead of sprung this on her when he got home, but whatever. And then Jack cold cocks him behind, and then he denies knowing where the gas is, and Miriam pleads with him to stop. And Jack says, "You really trust him?" And he dumps the briefcase. And then Jack threatens to kneecap him, and this is the most memorable part of this episode. One of the memorable parts of the season. One of his most memorable torture moments is then Henderson says to do it. Go ahead, shoot me. And then Jack turns unexpectedly and shoots Miriam.
Yeah, I kind of had an inkling that was the way it was headed, but I was like, maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But I thought that was tight. Because the guy's not going to give up the information, but you try and target where he's weakest. But that still didn't work. So, what an asshole.
Also, amazing acting from Kiefer Sutherland after he does it. Because he is trembling after he does it. His hand is shaking. And he's just yelling. He said, "I shot her the kneecap. You make me shoot her again, she'll be in a wheelchair the rest of her life. Tell me where to find the Sentox nerve gas." And he still won't tell him. He goes, I can't tell you. He's like, "I'm sorry." And he turns to Miriam and says, "I'm sorry." And she's just in horror. Same thing with Logan and Martha right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are some no good men, tell you what. Some no good men. I think everyone needs to drop their man and start over.
Everyone needs to drop their...
Look at Tony's.
You know who else needs to drop their man and start over is Kim, but we will get into that in a second.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started.
So Jack says to her, "Tim, you son of a bitch, you don't care about anyone." And then he calls an ambulance and starts applying a tourniquet himself. And then he tells CTU to prep an interrogation kit.
You're talking to the dog.
Yeah, we can hear you when you're talking to the dog. So
I thought I had muted it. He got his ear stuck. I said, I'll fix your ear.
Curtis hustles the bomb literally at the last second to the containment unit, and it goes off inside it. So no more problem at the hospital. And that was pretty gangster of Curtis, right?
Yeah, Curtis is a gangster, but I don't want to be...
I think Curtis is the only character that we're all literally in agreement on. All three of us.
Yeah, he's just whatever. Honestly, now that I think about it, you're right. I'm a little sad about Edgar. Because, they should have had Curtis. Kill Curtis off,
Team kill Curtis.
I'm just saying, that would have been a better switch. That would have been, now I'm
kind of... Of course, Christina wants them to kill the African-American actor.
Hey, watch yourself.
In this season, after they already killed an African-American actor and David Palmer. I think that's a little insensitive of you, Christina, but whatever. You do you. I guess Justin and I will be racially insensitive, and Christina will be the person that you are. All right. So Ostroff kills Lynn's sister and her boyfriend, takes the key card, and in likely the cheesiest closing line ever of an episode, he calls Bierko and says, "I have the key card." And he says, "How long will it take you to reprogram it?" And he says, 5 minutes. Then we will be able to use it to access CTU. What?
Thank goodness we know that now.
Yeah, what? What? Why would you ever say that? And then beep, 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 beep. And so that is the end of that episode. Then we get 512. They aired on March 12th, 2006. It's from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Starting off with Ostroff reprogramming the key card. And then we see him change Lynn's face to his with some crazy technology that I wish I could be. That I wish I had. That you just put.
What do you mean, dude? You're not a professional Photoshopper?
I am, but there's nothing like that where you can just put dots on a couple faces and then hit enter and then it warps your face to the other person's. Whatever. Maybe there is, but I don't think there was back in 2006, right? I guess I just said when the date was.
Maybe, man.
Yeah, March 12th, 2006, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Anyway, Bill's told that Tony's trying to speak with him. He said he'll be there when he has time. And then somebody says, Carrie says, "Miss Raines, Kim Bauer's here to see you." Were you guys expecting Kim at all?
That's when my eyes rolled to the back of my head.
Were you guys expecting Kim at all?
Yeah, because they said call.
I know, but at this point.
Maybe not right this episode, but I knew we'd get her back in this season because they said call, and I feel like they wouldn't even do that if it wasn't going to be to bring her in.
Yeah. But when it happened, I'm sure it was a little bit of a surprise, is my only point, right?
Right.
You're like, oh, there she is. She's in the show.
I don't know if surprise is the right word. It was more of a...
It probably was oh, shoot, Kim. But I don't really care for her character, so again, I was probably distracted by my dramatic eye roll. No,
Harsh.
I'm alone.
Harsh.
I don't really care for her as a character. Not really feeling her.
I don't like her
I
at
do
all
like her
either,
new hair,
but it's
though.
still
I do like the new hair.
it's still surprising when somebody comes in that's but she does
Yeah.
look much older now with
Yeah,
her.
I like the do.
Yeah.
Looks good on her.
You dig the do.
I dig the do.
So she doesn't know yet, and she's with somebody. Audrey asks Jack if she can hear it from her first, so it's not a big shock, and he says, fine, just make sure she knows I was trying to protect her. And then Henderson starts messing with him. He's like, when Jack died, Chase left her, and she hit rock bottom, and that she's only now trying to put her life together. It's kind of brutal.
Chase left her, huh?
Hey, I told you guys we'll never see Chase again. And you guys were like, we don't believe you. And I was like,
one-handed
okay.
Chase. One-handed Chase.
Yeah, his character was not responded to well for I don't know why. And I think we all agreed that Chase was a good character. And he was pissed about it. And he said, I don't think I'll ever want to come back. So, yeah, that's what happened. He left her. And Kim even says, Chase is the same as you, later when talking to him. And then Henderson says to Jack, Miriam and I were there for Kim when you weren't. And then Kim says that her boyfriend is Barry Landis, and then Audrey says it's about your father. Well, first she's like, "Can we speak alone?" And he's like, "No."
And then Barry's all abrasive.
Yeah, and she's like, "Please, Kim," and she's like, "You can say whatever you want in front of him." She's like, "All right." And I like how he's like, "No, really, it's okay. Like it's really it's okay."
What?
She goes, "It's about your father." She's like, "What about my father?" And she's like, "He's alive." This is, by the way, after she said both my parents died in this place, and then she swore she'd never come back. You got to think she'd think about this when she's coming back as being a part of the Palmer thing, because Palmer was still assassinated earlier this day in the morning.
Right.
So she gives her the rundown, and Kim just sits there without saying anything, really, for the most part. We meet a new character, Hal Gardner, the vice president.
Oh, yeah.
He has these big, vast plans, and Mike's very resistant to them. He suggests declaring martial law without congressional approval, rewriting the law himself, as they say. And Mike is skeptical that declaring martial law will create more unrest than it's going to save. What do we think about this, guys? What do you think of Hal Gardner?
What do I think about him? I mean, I know he's meant, or as a character, it seems like he's meant to come in and cause tension between Mike and the president and just be another, like, because Mike and the president have been getting, I mean, even though Mike's a little harsh on him, I think they've been getting along relatively well. So I feel like it's just meant to cause tension. So I see that. And then other than that, I mean, he obviously thinks he's a Mr. Know-It-All and he's going to come in and save the day or help save the day. So whatever. I think he's going to be an asshole at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that was a really long answer. Justin?
He seems, I guess the easiest way to say it is he seems to have his own agenda. That's what it appears. That's what
that's what you wanted to get out of me?
No, I guess. Justin, do you have any input on Hal Gardner?
No, I mean, just like yet to prove himself to me yet, so we'll see.
So Henderson pleads with Jack. He's like, I'm just trying to protect the country. He says, you're going to open up Pandora's box. And, of course, it's not going to be like, oh, Jack's going to be like, oh, okay, then never mind. I'm not going to torture you and try to get information out of you. No problem. So then Jack's going inside, and he looks at the sun setting. And you know what that means? It's nighttime hours, bitches!
Nighttime! It's dark out!
Ostroff is allowed in, and I'm sure he's just thinking, oh, hopefully I do not have to talk because I am Russian, cosmonaut, astronaut. And Jack gets in and goes to see Kim. Lots of this doesn't have to be rehashed, but your boy Barry needs to mind his own business.
Yeah.
That's your boy, Christina.
No, that is not my boy. Oh, but before we get even into Barry minding his own business, let's talk about first how Jack stood in the doorway looking through the blinds. Kind of creepy.
You think so?
Yeah, I
don't
it was
think
like,
that's what happened.
I
think he just walked up. I think he just walked up and there were blinds there in front.
Froze and stared at each other. But I know it was meant to be dramatic, but it was just like, okay, like open the door, like she's right there. Maybe it just bothered me. Sorry if it just bothered me, folks.
So Barry is played by C. Thomas Howell, who's from The Outsiders. He's been in a million other things too, but he's one of the main characters of the movie The Outsiders, which I'm hoping both of you guys have heard of the movie The Outsiders.
The book is on my, I think it's the book,
yeah,
on my
there's a book
on my nightstand right now.
Oh, Cool. Have you seen the movie?
Oh, right
No.
this minute, huh?
I haven't seen the movie, but
Interesting.
I've got the book.
One of Tom Cruise's
That's cool.
first movies. Fun fact.
Ugh.
All right,
Remember
so
I told you last week I didn't like Tom Cruise.
I love him. I love that when he's talking, that Jack just turns and looks at him and says, "Who are you?" And he's like, "My name's Barry," and he's like, "Kim." And the guy's like, "Oh no," because he actually says, "You could have trusted her. You could have tried trusting." He's like, I couldn't tell you because I wanted to keep you safe." And he goes, "You could have tried trusting her." And Jack turns and looks at him and is just like, "Who is this man in my presence right now?" I love how he's trying to ease up to Kim, and he just still cannot hide his disdain for this dude right off the bat, especially because he's so much older than Kim, right?
Yeah.
And
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but whoa.
ooh, Christina's clearly dating somebody older right now.
No.
Spill the
I'm
beans.
saying like no. What I said is not there's anything wrong with it, but like, oh, what? Like I was like, he seems a lot older than her.
Sounds like Christina's
It's like-
boyfriend is
Seems
55.
like Christina
I'm
is
not- that's
dating
not what
a
you guys
senior.
She's trying to get those social
Get
security
prerequisites.
checks. You're trying to get those social security
I-
checks from your boyfriend, aren't you?
I would just be trying to get cheap pancakes. But no, that's not what I was saying. I was saying like he does seem
But
uncomfortably older.
I love how Jack glares at him. He's like, "Kim," and she's like, "No, it's okay, Barry. Could you leave us for a second before my dad breaks you in half?" So Jack continues to say it was the only way to keep her safe, and this is really Jack at his most vulnerable. This is like the only time we see him this, helpless, right?
Yeah.
And she says she can't have him back in her life right now. She's like, "Could you just go? Like, I can't be what you want me to be right now," which is a little understandable, maybe. She's having the
Right.
reaction that you wanted Audrey to have, pretty much. She didn't give her a slap and a kiss.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's summoned for Burke interrogation to interrogate Henderson, and he's like, "Can you just wait for a second?" Which I'm sure he's going to regret saying, considering she's now trapped in CTU with nerve gas everywhere. But anyway, so at this point, did you guys know that there was going to be nerve gas attack at CTU?
No, that
no.
caught me off guard for some reason. I wish I would have known, but like, why didn't I think that was what was going to happen? I have no clue.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think that was like the intention of getting the CTU card.
Even when Ostroff was walking around in CTU, like, what point did you realize he was going to when he killed Carrie and there was a
I think
Yeah,
once
when
he
like I
got
started seeing.
once he got in, actually, because he was carrying that big ass like case, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, now I get it.
So, but yeah, Ostroff's just cruising around willy-nilly. And then Tony begs Bill to find out who did it. And he says the highest up they got in the chain is Christopher Henderson. And that's somebody that Tony knows. He shouldn't have said that, to be honest. He should have just said Walt Cummings. Walt Cummings is the only person that we know for sure. Because I think also Walt Cummings is pretty high up the chain. That was the secretary, or that was the chief of staff of the United States. I think it's higher up than
That's high enough up.
senior
you know.
VP
And if
of
you're not going to
Omicron.
tell, if you're not going to tell him that his wife is deceased, but now
Yeah.
we're going to start telling him who's
Yes,
to blame, like,
I
come
agree.
on.
I agree. I completely agree. And then Tony's seemingly getting pretty dark. Do you guys agree?
Oh yeah, but Michelle barely pulled him out of the dark, deep places. Like what? So a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be good for Tony. And ever since you guys started doing the Tony voice on the podcast, which I guess is like season 1, I realized how much different his voice is than every other character on the show. It's like distracting. Like, Tony, why are you talking like that? I don't get it.
Anyway, he says don't let him cut a deal. That's very important to him at this point. Audrey finds
I
out
like that too. I like that too.
Audrey finds out that Kim was Barry's patient, and that pisses Jack off even more. Right? Like, wouldn't it? That means that he was
Yeah, he like got in close.
her
He snuggled up.
psychiatrist and then ended up snuggling up with her, which is beyond
Shacking
unethical.
it up.
Beyond unethical, right?
Agreed. Justin, what do you think? Justin's down for it.
Oh, totally down for it.
Here's the thing,
I
too,
knew
is
it.
she said, hey, before you get mad at him, realize he was there when nobody else was.
Which wasn't Homeboy just saying he was there for her when nobody was? So
That's what I'm
who
saying.
was there?
I'm saying Barry was. Oh, you're
No,
saying
but
Henderson?
that one guy,
But
yeah,
he was saying,
like,
I
we were
just
there
check
for
in.
her.
He's like, they just checked in on her.
Oh, I see.
So we still cared about her, but I don't think he was like completely there for her. But anyway, before going into Henderson, Jack says to Burke, who is the torturer of the season, he says he's willing to tolerate an inhuman amount of pain. which I think is a good setup for the whole thing. But like I said, every interrogation technique that Jack uses on him, Henderson throws back at him, identifying the technique. And then Burke starts injecting him with sodium pentothal, which is very clearly debilitatingly painful for him. I hope I was able to get that word out right on the second try. Mike goes to Martha and says the president needs her, and said that he prayed, and she was like, he did?
Oh, yeah.
The fuck?
So ridiculous.
And then Days... oh, no. Oh, hold on. I made a typo when I was reading it, and it's supposed to say says, and I said days. I will edit this out because I'm on it. 45 minutes. Days. So
I don't know if you meant to edit that out. It's not that.
So I know, but I want to be like seeming smart.
Oh, you want to be perfect.
You guys seem like the silly
You want to
geese.
see.
So Gardner has his own agenda.
Oh, geez, edit that out, please.
That's at least not a typo.
He's
so it
got
doesn't
his
throw
own
me off.
agenda. It's
He has his own
2017,
agenda.
Everybody's got their own agenda.
He has his own
now.
agenda, and you know what he wants to do, basically, in declaring Martha law. God damn it, martial law.
This is getting rough,
Wow.
folks.
And
If
Martha's
you're listening
like-
live, jump off. If you're listening live, jump
and
off.
then Martha's like,
Overboard.
We've already
can't
lost
do-
everybody.
He can't do that. He can't rewrite the law. And he's like, I know. That's why you need to go talk to her. You know, talk to him.
See,
Goodness.
this is bad.
My
This is
God,
horrible.
Dylan. What is
Mike
happening?
says.
Okay.
Mike says.
Let's start from
Mike's-
the beginning. Go back
Mike
to
says
Dave.
that he needs another ear, and that she needs to be there for him. So anyway, Ostrov opens up one of the vents in the computer, and then Carrie tells Edgar about it, and Edgar says, Carrie, I don't have time for this stuff. I'm dealing with I'm dealing with
Edgar-
first responders right now. I ain't got time for none of this.
I'm getting
and-
sadder by the minute.
And then after he's like, then go take care of it. She's like, okay, fine. She goes to go do it, and then he's like, Carrie, like to apologize to her because he feels bad. Immediately feels bad. Chloe wouldn't have done that. Know what I'm saying? All right. So she goes to check it out for herself. Martha goes to Logan, and he says, can you forgive me? Basically, that you wanted me to be your husband first, but I had to be the president first. And she says that she still loves him. She'll always love him, and the people need you right now. So yada, yada, yada. But she's definitely not.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm not believing it.
Right. I mean, she's definitely not, like, completely forgiven him at all, but she is trying to, because she thinks it's for the good of the country. So she's a patriot, or patriotess, as you call it.
Picture test.
And then he says, all these people are upset about all this. I think I'm about to distract people by banning transgender people from the military. Which, I don't know why he said that he wanted to do that, but that's something he said he wanted to do. So then he just tweeted it out. So that's what the show did. So I'm just joking. The show doesn't go that kooky, does it?
That'd be too ridiculous.
That would be too unrealistic. Anyway, but that's what he did. So anyway, that's what the show did. So Carrie gets in the computer room and finds a canister, and then instead of running, she gets out her flip phone. I would have been like, holy shit, and sprinted out of there, right? Would you guys have?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think
Yes,
so.
I would have sprinted. No flip phone. I wouldn't even have a flip phone, but I would have sprinted.
Would you didn't have a flip phone in these days?
No,
In
I went
2006, you
straight.
didn't
No,
have
I
a
think
flip
I
phone?
only had a Nokia. I had that Nokia
Oh, I had
snake
flip
phone
phones
still,
for
right?
days.
2006, yeah. Maybe?
2006,
I don't remember.
those phones were ghetto by then. Those were retired in like
Well,
2003,
don't talk about me
2004.
like that.
You did not have a snake Nokia in 2006.
I don't remember.
That's when camera
Moving on.
phones,
I would run.
color screen camera phones were already very prevalent in 2006.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, she pulled out the phone so she could take a picture and then upload it with 3G speeds.
Sometimes I like to just let your jokes die.
I don't know
and
what
so
happened.
This is one
You
of those
don't know what
times that I
happens.
just like to let it die.
Yeah, we're having a conversation and we're not having a monologue, so
Sometimes.
we could talk.
Hey, I've been doing a wonderful job. Back me up, someone. Back me up.
You have been, Christina. You're doing so well
you.
today.
Thank you.
Better than Justin ever does, ever.
Fair.
Anyway, I just took a timestamp to make sure to cut out you guys sucking. Anyway, so there's a 15-minute timer that's beep 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 after Carrie gets stabbed in the head by Ostrov. Why doesn't he do a 10-minute timer? I guess he's trying to give himself enough time to get out, right?
To get out, yeah.
Get Out on Blu-ray.
Get Out.
Check it out.
Great
Blu-ray
film.
and DVD. Okay, let's talk about Chloe and Kim. This was great. This Chloe and Kim interaction. I thought it was great. And I'm sure Christina thought it was great because we're both reasonable people. So she said, you knew, didn't you? And she goes, yeah, I did. And she was like, I trusted you. And she's like, only to keep you safe. And she's like, you don't need to make excuses, Chloe. And she goes, I'm not making excuses. 4 people knew he was alive. 2 of them are dead. Tony's in critical condition. The only reason I'm alive is because he saved my life. It's none of my business, but you could try cutting him some slack. Come on.
Yeah, I thought that was good. And she said it without being kind of like her weird stuff. It was like very like this is really how somebody would say it. Yeah, and it just it was she did that was a good scene. That was a good scene. Like she cut right to the chase.
She didn't go God.
No pun intended, because Chase is gone.
Because Chase is gone.
Whoa.
You got cut. But yeah, she didn't say God. Oh my God, are you serious? Like giving her attitude. She's like, listen, dude, I don't have time for your attitude about this. I don't feel bad about keeping this secret from you because you're alive because of it. The only reason I'm alive is because Jack saved me. So he's a hero to me. So if you're gonna sit here and try to trash him, then go do it somewhere else because you need to cut him some slack. Basically, is her whole point. And just to see who else has Jack's back like Chloe does. I mean, everybody kind of does. But who's going to be that honest about it? Like, could you imagine Audrey doing that? No, Audrey would be gingerly and soft and gentle about the whole thing. We don't even know if Audrey knows Kim yet. Do you think that they met before?
That's what I said last time. I was like, does she even know her? I said that, but when he's like, call Kim, that's what I told you. And I don't know if we ever like talked about it, but I just assumed that they didn't really know each other that well.
I don't know. Sometimes when you talk on the podcast because you keep talking, I like to zone it out a little bit.
Okay, you know what that means. No more talking. 1-word answers. You're welcome.
I was being sarcastic. You are amazing, Christina, and I just encourage you to talk more because people want to hear more of your angelic voice and less of mine. Anyway, so next thing in the next scene, Logan was tweeting again, and
but she does.
No, I'm just kidding. He wouldn't do that. President wouldn't just be tweeting and being
President
ridiculous.
wouldn't just like tweet ridiculous things.
Yeah, he's busy. Like there's some stuff going on. So why would he be ridiculous and a clown? So Bill talks to Lynn and says his sister was found dead, and I don't know how she'd be found dead 45 minutes after.
The smell.
Do you guys agree with this? Did this bother you at all?
Yeah, like who found her dead? Maybe she was having a drug deal go down after.
Yeah,
and, like,
maybe she was having some friends over.
Sure. Maybe people saw. Yeah. Maybe a bullet went through a floor or something like that. But he was using a silencer. But maybe silencer, I'm sure, can still be heard from a certain level or whatever. So whatever. But it still seemed weird that they had already identified them too. They're like, yeah, the coroner already identified her. I was like, whoa, this sounds like fake news. But then he's like, her boyfriend did it, and he goes, no, I found him dead too. And then he's like, do you think they had ties to organized crime? They were professionals. And that's when Lynn figures it out that it was for the key card. Did you guys, what do you guys think?
I felt like he figured that out also pretty quick. But yeah, I guess, like, I don't know.
I think that he should have already had that figured out. Yeah, I think he should have already figured it out.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I would have thought it was
he should have handled the situation better.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so immediately he's like, why didn't you report? And he goes, I'm reporting now. Check it out right now. So Bill calls Chloe and says, check to see if Lynn's key card was used. And she's like, why would it have been used? He's in lockup. She goes, just do it. She goes, oh my God, it was used less than an hour ago. And they're like, lock down CTU now. Jack's interrogating Henderson, and then the alarm starts going off. So he rushes to find the intruder, and Jack goes to where they think he is, like the area. And it's funny that they're like, Jack, you go there. This team will go this way. So they're sending a team to go one way, and Jack by himself to go another way. And then Ostroff gets a guard hostage, and he uses his thumbprint and then kills him brutally. And then Edgar's like, I need to go check on Carrie. They're like, go ahead, go check on her. And he's like, cover for me for a second. This is a lockdown right now. I don't think he could cover to go check on somebody right now in the middle of this lockdown in CTU, but whatever. Then Jack figures out the radio is compromised, and then he says on the radio that he went down the stairwell. And Bill's like, no, he didn't. And he's like, yeah, I think he did. And he's making a hand signal to the camera, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, he gets the drop on Ostrov, and then Ostrov tries to draw on him, and Jack puts him down. Kill count +1. The only Jack kill in these 2 episodes.
Well.
And then we see a map. He finds on his PDA. He has a PDA. It's so funny to see it called that now, because now it'd just be a phone. See a map of CTU's ventilation system, and then they go from lockdown to evac, like that. So it must be difficult to even switch from those. So people start evacuating. Edgar finds Carrie dead and then runs away, and the canister opens. I'm sure at this point you're like, I can't believe the canister just opened up right now. Right? Like, did you, at this point...
You're not quite sure what's going to happen.
Right. You think they're going to
Yeah, like you think he's going to get out, and yeah.
So what was going through your head once the canister opened? All these people
How
are
was
dead?
everybody going to get out? I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about one, I don't think.
Right. So then they rush to a few rooms that Chloe gets sealed. She finds out rooms that can be sealed. And there are 3 rooms: Situation Room, Bill's office, and interrogation area. So he's like, Chloe, seal all the rooms. And a woman comes up behind to be let in, and she can't get in. He's like, try to find another way out. And then people just start collapsing everywhere, and we get the split screens. So everyone's dead everywhere in CTU except for these people in these rooms. Plus, Bill's by himself in his office in the interrogation area. So Lynn is still alive and held in one of those, and then the medical area with Tony and Henderson. So these people are all safe. It didn't explicitly say that, but he said the areas, so I figured I'd just clear that up for you guys. And then when a woman's collapsing by the window, Jack's like, there's nothing we can do for her now. Like, sorry, it sucks, but she's dead. And then we see people dying everywhere, and then we figure out there's a missing person. And Edgar runs up, and he goes, Chloe. And then he drops dead, and Chloe looks in horror, and we get a silent clock. So I'm not going to do the beep, 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 beep sound.
Rip.
Jar brought up also in the chat that he thinks Barry is to blame. Barry got Kim to blame Jack for her problems in therapy. So
that was good. JJ, you want to be on the show? Because that's good.
This guy should replace me, honestly.
No, really. Justin's last episode is this. I hope you enjoyed it. And there's no reason to call him JJ. His initials is Jar. His first name's John. So it's not like you're shortening his initials.
That's a classic Christina move, dude.
It is. That is a classic Christina move. Anyway, yeah, I think this might work out doing the live streaming. So anybody want to check this out again, you can follow us on our YouTube channel on just search for The Watch and Talk, and we'll usually do them on Thursday afternoons. Again, if you're a Patreon subscriber also, then we will send you these episodes as soon as we get them out. Just if you're a supporter, just email us and tell us that you're a supporter and what your name is, and we will contact you that way, and I'll send the episodes to you. Anyway, next week is my favorite episode of TV ever. So we have a pretty good episode come up. We're going to do the episode by itself, and we're not going to be able to watch them all together because Justin's going to be out of town, but maybe Christina will still come over and watch it. Maybe we can still watch it together.
Don't get your hopes up, Dylan.
What do you think, Christina?
I am now dog sitting for a week.
So you can't leave the house for whatever. Anyway, any predictions? What do you guys think? What do we think about going forward?
I'm just interested to see how they're going to clear. Like, how does the gas exit the building? Like, how do they go back out and continue their work or whatever?
Yeah, they're in a tight spot.
Yeah,
you can say that. To say the least.
What about you, Christina? Any questions? Any predictions?
Now, JJ's got me thinking about Martha here. I'm thinking there's something going on.
What about the problem at hand, which is at CTU? Any predictions there? Anything like that?
Well, Justin already said what he thought. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, well, what now? How's this going to work?
How's this going to work?
Yeah. So we'll see.
Your guys' predictions are saying, I wonder what's going to happen next. That's your prediction.
It's not a prediction. It's just like a question.
I know. I'm asking. Then I'm asking for
prediction. Prediction. They're going to find a way to get this place evacuated and get everyone into a place where they can get back to work. Prediction.
Right. What do you think?
Like,
what do you think Henderson's coming up? There's a bunch of mystery happening right now in general. What do you think Henderson's
What's your prediction? If you had never seen the show before, what would you predict? Doesn't work that way? Doesn't work that way? Okay.
I think that I would predict that Jack is the mole.
Jack's the mole.
Or Kim is the mole. Kim's
bold.
been the mole the
Maybe
whole
it's
time.
Barry. Maybe it's
Very
Barry.
fair. Yeah.
Maybe it's Bear
Barry's
Bear.
the mole.
All right, why don't you tell people where they can follow you guys on the internet, Justin?
I'm on the internet or at Justin B. Moreno on Twitter and Instagram.
Christina, where can people follow you on the internet?
At K_Vandersize on Twitter and at K_Vandersize on Instagram.
And for me, you can follow me
come on me, yeah,
at Shuckster. That's SCHUCKSTER. Check out the movie review podcast, The Watch and Talk. We just reviewed Atomic Blonde. The week before that, Dunkirk. You can't miss that one. And next week, I think it's The Dark Tower. Ugh. Not excited for these weeks. The Dark Tower.
I hope that you're pleasantly surprised by that movie because you've been shitting on it up to this point.
Oh man, it's the worst movie poster. I think one of the worst movie posters I've ever seen. It's so bad. That's one thing that's really turned me off from the film in general. But anyway, so yeah, check that out. thewatchandtalk.com. We told you how to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to listen to us stream these episodes and be a part of the conversation. And yeah, for the show, you can follow us at Legacy24. Email us at legacy24@gmail.com. Go to our website at legacy24.com or go to our Facebook at facebook.com/thewatchandtalk. And that's it. I'm Dylan Chuck.
I'm just Moreno.
And I'm Christina Vandersize.
And we'll see you next week. John, thanks for listening in. I'm going to stop the stream.
Thank you.
But thanks for coming on. And yeah, I'm still going to talk to you guys, though.